One thing I love is when I get questions and emails from my subscribers letting me know some of the issues that they're having with their hair. And they trust me enough to ask questions. In this Ask T series, I will be sharing some of my questions, so enjoy. Bhavya writes in and asks, I have kinky thick black hair also. In the past 6 to 7 years, my hair has went from shoulder length to barely shoulder touching. I recently installed Senegalese twist and would like tips on how to keep my hair healthy while they're in and how to maintain and not get breakage when I take them out. What's your hair care regimen if you don't mind sharing? All right, that was from Bava. I hope I'm saying your name right. I see a lot of people wearing the Senegalese twist. They're all beautiful. And the first thing I notice is it's a lot of hair on your head. But let me tell you, go back to a time when I used to wear braids. So I used to wear, believe it or not, before I became natural, I actually wore weave braids for years. I went to college for 4 years, and I probably wore my hair out maybe 1 year out that whole 4 years of college. I was always wearing weave braids because, one, it was convenient, and two, my hair was growing from them. So I definitely know how to get my hair to grow longer while wearing any type of weave. Well, weave braids, any type of, braided up hairstyle for an extended period of time. I would do this series of redoing my hair every month or two, washing it, redoing it. And that sounds crazy, but because my hair was just left alone, and I was not constantly going to the shower every week washing it or constantly taking the braids out every week or two, it made my hair become stronger. Even though I had these weave braids and my hair wasn't in the most clean state, it still was growing. Within 2 years, my hair was all the way down my back from wearing braids for 2 years at a time. But every month or two, I was redoing them. I wasn't just letting them sit on my hair. Most people wear those hairstyles because they want to break from their hair, but they still do the same stuff. So my advice to you, if you're going to wear the Senegalese twist, I would say make them about at least a quarter inch to a half an inch thick. Leave them alone for about a month. If you're leaving that hair strand alone and it's at the right moisture level, it's just going to thrive and grow. And I see a lot of people washing their hair with all these braids in and all this extra stuff. I'm going to tell you like this. Do whatever floats your boat. If you want to wash your hair with all that, weave and hair in your hair, and it makes you feel like your scalp is being clean, go right ahead and do it. But I'll be honest with you, when I used to wear my weave braids, I would put them in. Every month or two, I redid all my braids. Now, my braids were pretty thick. They weren't really thick, but they were probably about that thick. When I generally wore them, they were about maybe a quarter inch thick, half an inch. And I would just wear them for that whole month, and then I wouldn't wash my hair at all. I didn't do anything, okay? I used to keep my hair pinned up in some type of style and leave it alone, but I will tell you, we'll have inchy scalp. So, some people probably would never do that, but my hair still was growing. Why? Because it was in a protective state and I wasn't touching it all the time. A lot of times I think with all this hassle that a lot of people are doing with their twists, it's making their hair break off, because the whole point is it's a protective state. Now, another thing you want to keep in mind is all protective styles are not created equally. If you have a lot of tension on your hair, it doesn't matter if it's in a protective style or not, because I actually the last time I decided to take my braids out, around the end when I was starting to get tired of my braids because I was noticing it was breaking, was when I was putting a lot of tension on my hair. I was making the braids a lot smaller and, trying to get all these hairstyles. I was cutting them and doing bangs and doing all kind of stuff with my braids. And I was loving how they looked. They were very stylish and beautiful, but they were pulling my hair out. So each month when I was going to redo my braids and wash my hair, it would become, my hair was getting short. I was getting short patches around the back. My hair was just so short. And I never saw that because my braids always made my hair grow. But the key was they were thicker in size and I kept them moisturized. Basically, right when I did my braids, I would grease my hair. Yes, I was still greasing my scalp at this time. But not only my scalp, my hair was very lubricated. I would use Lotta Body leave-in conditioner. How many of y'all remember Lotta Body? I used to use the Lotta Body leave-in conditioner, and my hair would be somewhat wet when I was putting the braids in, and I would grease my scalp. Not saying I'm telling you to grease your scalp, but this is what I actually did at that time, which was like years ago, before I, discovered natural hair information and better grooming techniques. But I would put my braids in using the setting lotion, attach the weave, and go throughout my hair, and then leave them alone for about a month. And sometimes it would even go more than a month. If I didn't feel like redoing all my braids, I would just do around the front and just keep my hair back in the ponytail. And now that I know to wash my hair more frequently, I would probably use a dry shampoo. I probably would not go under the shower or putting all that water on your twist for two reasons. One, your braids are going to be even heavier on your hair. You know, and that's one of the biggest setbacks with wearing those weave braids or weave twists, because they are heavy. I would rather use a dry shampoo or just, use some tea tree oil on your scalp if it's itching, because the tea tree oil is an antifungal essential oil, and that will kill the bacteria, so you won't have an itchy scalp. And I've noticed even using castor oil on my scalp has helped my scalp stop itching even better than tea tree oil. You will get frizz. The frizz will make you want to take the twist out quicker, so if you want them to last, wrap them up at night, add a little moisture. Even at night or in the morning, you add some type of antifungal to your scalp, and maybe some little moisture, but when you put the scarf on them, it'll help them lay, so that frizz kind of lays down a little bit. Okay, so that'll help the twist last longer. But another thing is, leave your hair alone when it's in those twists. Don't always lift it up into these high ponytails unless you're going to leave a little bit of room when you're braiding them. Don't make it super tight and then be pulling your hair up. Now, if you know you want to wear updos, leave them a little loose. Leave a little room where the root of your hair is, because I promise you, no matter how much your hair is protected, you're going to end up, experiencing damage from too much tension. So you want to be very careful with that. Keep them moisturized, particularly at night, so you can wrap the hair right up with a nice scarf, long scarf, where it covers most of the area where your real hair is, and it'll help the hair lay flat, and your twist will look neat every day. I'm not sure how long you're trying to keep those in, but I would say if you're going to put that much tension on your hair, at least a month or two. I see people put those things in and change their hair the next week. That's a lot of tension to put on your hair just to change it in a week. Let the hair become a little older so that it can endure the weight of those things a little better. Whatever you decide to do, the key is to keep the hair moisturized. Use something on that scalp. Don't just keep scratching your hair, because you got too much tension going on, and then you will end up experiencing breakage. A huge part of hair growth is about being patient and leaving the hair alone enough to where you can see the growth. If you're constantly bothering your hair, the odds are you might be breaking it, or at least wearing it to the point where it's not going to last long as it could have lasted. So I love braided hairstyles. I wore braids for years, and that was one of the first times I actually saw my hair could actually grow longer. Even though I still didn't know what to do and how to keep the hair until I discovered YouTube, I still knew that whatever I was doing when I wore those weave braids, which was basically, now we call it protective styling, but when I wore those weave braids, I got to, for the first time, see my hair grow longer, because I disrupted my hair breakage cycle, okay? Because we all have a hair breakage cycle, especially when you're doing the same habits. But when I changed my habits and wore weave braids for a while, I saw my hair get so long and healthy. I mean, my hair texture actually looked black, because it was protected from the sun. So weave and those braids and twisted hairstyles can be great protective hairstyles, but you don't want to be counterproductive by putting all that tension on your hair, because it will not be effective. So I hope that I have offered you some good tips. If anyone else have any comments, please share them. Let us know how it was when you wore Senegalese twist or weave braids. Did you experience damage, or did you see your hair grow longer? Feel free to leave a comment, and do not forget to like the video. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for your questions, and have a good day.